El Camino del Diablo, the Devil's Highway. I've been meaning to run this backcountry route through southern Arizona for quite some time. Ideally, I wanted to do it during the winter when the temperatures are cooler, but it's mid-April right now, and I missed that mark. It's already hot out. The Devil's Highway has quite the history. It was used by desert-dwelling Native Americans back in the 1500s, and then after that it was used extensively by conquistadors, missionaries, settlers, miners, cartographers, explorers, mainly to get to and from California before the Southern Pacific Railroad came to be just a little bit north of here. And as you probably guessed from the name, a lot of travelers perished over the years as they tried to journey across this hot and unforgiving landscape. Today in 2024, things are very different. The BLM, or Bureau of Land Management, designated this a backcountry recreational route, with well-equipped four-wheel drive vehicles, air conditioning, satellite connectivity, refrigeration, solar power, and an auxiliary gas tank that grants me a total of around 500 miles of range. I can get across the desert safely and comfortably in a relatively short amount of time, but I'm not going to do that. Well, I'm going to do safely and comfortably, but I'm going to take my time. I set aside the rest of this week to travel westward from Yuma to Ajo, Arizona, and it's a little over 100 miles of backcountry driving through the desert. The trek is similar in scope to that of the Mojave Road in Southern California. An ancient reservoir that used to provide water to Fortuna Mine, which is down there along El Camino del Diablo. Today I kicked things off in Fortuna foothills and I made my way here, which is still very early in the journey, and I found this incredible campsite on a mountain ridge overlooking the Sonoran Desert to the west. Nothing's down there except for Highway 2. I can see Highway 2 from here in Mexico. A decent amount of traffic. See tractor trailers. It was a wonderfully quiet night last night. The stars were out, the moon was out for a little bit, and I saw a meteorite plummet toward the earth down here to the, I guess that's northeast. Temperatures were great last night. It was in the mid-50s Fahrenheit, and right now, at 7:15 a.m., it's comfortable, but a little bit warmer than I'd prefer for this hour. And again, it's mid-April. Before I head out and keep pushing east, I have to get under the Jeep and make sure the suspension's still tight, or the shocks at least, since I just installed those last week. And if anything's loose, it's on me. Looking good on this side. Looking good over here. Well, that was a little loose. Oh my God. I am glad that I checked these. I know I didn't forget to tighten these last week, but by the end of the suspension project, I was probably a little fatigued and didn't put enough effort into it. Yeah, I need to put a breaker bar in the Jeep. I only have this because it fits under the seat, but it's such a pain in the butt. Not enough leverage. Look at how vibrant the desert is right now. All these yellow flowers, and the ocotillos are in bloom. It's beautiful. It's not even 10 a.m., so it's too early to settle in for the night, but I found this great cozy campsite nestled among these rock formations just off of El Camino del Diablo. Good spot. Putting a pin in it for next time. Smooth section of road. I'm about 1/3 of the way done the route to the west, and there are even mile markers up here, so this is a well-traveled section. I already passed Border Patrol grading the road, smoothing it out by dragging tires behind their pickup truck. It is sandy, but it's very gentle. I'm able to drive 40 miles per hour very easily. Alright, I'm at Tule Well. I don't know if that pronunciation is correct. It's T-U-L-E. And it seems to be roughly the halfway point. If I'm eyeballing it correctly, I could be wrong. I covered a lot of ground very quickly on that section of road that was well groomed. I don't know if it's like that the rest of the way to the east or not. But one thing's for sure, I like my routes a little bit spicier. Not for off-road challenge, but for the feeling of being someplace lesser known, and for the feeling of discovery. So what I'm going to do is, there is a route that goes northeast called Christmas Pass, and it deviates from El Camino del Diablo, so I'm just going to go about 7 miles up to the pass, maybe not find a campsite, and then backtrack back here to El Camino del Diablo just to see more. There is camping right here at Tule Well, and it's tempting because it has picnic tables and fire rings, and there are some shady spots over there. But like last night's campsite, I like to get off the beaten path and find someplace special. So I'm going to do more exploring first, and if I don't find anything, I'll come back here. Now we're talking. A designated campsite that's a 7-mile deviation from El Camino del Diablo in this rocky amphitheater. There are 2 fire rings, 2 picnic tables, and what a secluded and remote slice of heaven that is only accessible via 4-wheel drive. Could be a little bit cooler out, but perseverance paid off. I might spend the night here tonight. I'm going to see what's a little bit farther down the road. Looks like they poured a little bit of concrete here for accessibility. It's still pretty rough though. More designated campsites just on the other side of the rocks from where the Jeep is parked. And they're also very nice. I'm thinking about coming over here instead. The amphitheater is really cool, but this is a little bit flatter with amazing views of those mountains to the east. Remember my old Nemo Helio that I used all the time, and then it went bad and I replaced it with a Winnebago? Well, right before this trip, I got another, and this was invaluable over the years. And I'm not sponsored. I'm just talking to the camera because I don't have anything else to do. I knew I'd be coming out here, and I knew it'd be getting hot, so I filled this up, and I just sit back and do this. I thought by coming out here in April, I'd enjoy cooler temperatures before summer set in, but you know, it's not 120 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's a win, but it is 90, and it's still hot, dry, and arid. Feels so good. Good campsite. It's 5:30 p.m. and the rock wall is due west of here, so the sun, even though it doesn't set for another hour or so yet, we're in the shade, so we get some early relief. There's Shannon, checking up on me. If you want remote and want to feel like you're far and away from everything, this designated camping area is remote. Not only is it 50 miles into El Camino del Diablo, it's also 7 miles farther down a primitive four-wheel drive track. If you're interested in retracing my steps and experiencing these places for yourselves, my detailed GPS data is available on venture4wd.com to paid members and also to Patreon subscribers. Alright, before I turn in for the night, I am going to watch a little bit of TV on my iPad. I don't have cell service, but fortunately I had the foresight to download my stories to my device. I'm currently watching Fallout on Prime, and I'm almost done, but I'm enjoying it. First few episodes were kind of slow, but by the fourth, I was hooked. Do you hear that? That's what the desert sounds like on an April morning. This is my favorite time of day. The air is cool. It's time for coffee, which I haven't made yet. And starting all over again, the day is full of possibilities. I'm going to break camp, work my way back to El Camino del Diablo, and then continue east. Still have quite a ways to go. I'm not all the way back to El Camino del Diablo, but I'm almost there. I wanted to stop here because there are some great dispersed camping opportunities right along the road. If you don't feel like going all the way to the designated camping area, this is a great alternative. It's just as beautiful. Although, you're only allowed to camp with your vehicle within 50 feet of the roadway. Beyond that, it's a protected wilderness area where motorized vehicles are prohibited. El Camino del Diablo passes through parcels managed by Berry Goldwater Range and Cabeza Prieta National Wildlife Refuge. To travel this route, you do need to acquire a free permit, which is easily obtained on the web. However, you must also create a user account and provide some basic contact and vehicle information. After you've acquired your permit, you can travel El Camino del Diablo, but before your visit, you must check in on the web and specify the length of your stay. They require this, presumably, to have some record of who is coming and going in the event of an emergency. The website for Cabeza Prieta also has a very helpful page that lists rules and regulations within the wildlife refuge. You should check this out prior to your adventure. This is where I found the camping information. I'll include the links for the permit page and the rules and the regulations in the description for this video. It's partly cloudy today. It's nice to have just a little bit of relief from the sun for once. The sandy wash winds back and forth through the valley for miles. Feels like I've been at it for about half an hour now. The surface sand is very granular, almost like confectioner's sugar, but beyond that it's fairly firm, so I'm not having any trouble with flotation. A lot of low vegetation, very exposed and gentle terrain, so can keep up a healthy pace. And just as I say that, it turns to rock field. Lava rock. Hopefully the audio is coming in okay. It's breezy up here. But how cool is this? I'm on the rim of an ancient volcano in the desert. There's one over there, another over there, and another over there. And when you're walking up the hill from where the Jeep is parked, you have no idea that there's this crater, this bowl on the other side. Very cool. And check this out. Even after millions of years, the rocks are still hot from the eruption. Or it could just be from the sun. But this explains the lava rocks all over the place, which are taking their toll on my chucks. Papago Well, if that's how you pronounce it. About 40 miles from Ajo along El Camino del Diablo. And it's an actual water source. I don't know if I drink it, but definitely filterable. And that is Papago Mountain behind it. The route passes by there, and I have no idea if I'm saying these things correctly. Papago, Papago, can't be Papago. I'm considering this designated camping area that I'm at right now. It's 2 p.m. so it's a little bit early, but just beyond Papago Well, where I just came from, is this, well, designated campsite. And I'm looking at the map, and like I said earlier, dispersed camping is allowed within 50 feet of the roadway. So that's an option, but this is right here. Again, there's a picnic table. We know it's a designated area. Up ahead, nothing's for certain. I think I'm going to call it for today and camp here. It's a nice site. There's a little bit of cell service, and certainly tomorrow I'll be able to complete El Camino del Diablo. It's 3 p.m. and I'm getting dinner ready. It's a factor meal that I'm heating up in the Hot Logic for about 2 hours. So around 5 it'll be ready. It's a Parmesan Asiago chicken melt. This is like hitting the easy button. And this sounds so sponsored, but it's not. Again, I'm just telling you what I'm doing. But it's a lot better than a lame grilled cheese with Taco Bell hot sauce on it. I had a good time for the rest of the day just sitting around camp. This campsite, the first in 3 nights so far that I'm actually on the main artery, El Camino del Diablo. I thought for sure I'd see someone pass, maybe one vehicle every few hours. That never happened. There is no one. I guess why take the Devil's Highway to Yuma when you can just take I-8? Alright, so order of business for tomorrow is to get up, make coffee, and keep making my way east. I took a close look at my GPS today, and I am only 13 miles from Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument. So I don't have too much farther to go until I'm out of Cabeza, Prieta, into Organ Pipe, BLM, and then Ajo beyond that. It's another 40 miles. just crossed out of Cabeza Prieta Wildlife Refuge and into Organ Pipe National Monument. And right at the boundary between the two lands, there was a border patrol station. It wasn't a checkpoint or anything, so they didn't stop you. It just seemed to be an outpost. And beyond the outpost to the east, the road is now very well groomed gravel. So El Camino del Diablo doesn't pass through the heart of Organ Pipe National Monument, kind of cuts through the northwest corner. So you don't see a lot of the beautiful vegetation that's a little bit farther to the southeast. But you do have the option of turning south here, which goes deeper into the park. It's a good option just to detour and go experience Organ Pipe. I'm gonna set a waypoint at this junction. I've been driving for days and I'm feeling a little bit crusty, so I'm gonna keep going to Ajo. But excellent side adventure, Organ Pipe. I'm through Organ Pipe National Monument and back on BLM land, which is a little bit more like the Wild Wild West. Found this spur off of the main road and decided to check it out. Didn't seem very long. Found some good campsites up here on the mountain. There's enough space for a couple vehicles and a stone fire ring. Sort of looks like it was used very recently. This is a beautiful Organ Pipe cactus outside of Organ Pipe National Monument. To be clear, I'm not currently on El Camino del Diablo. It's down in that valley somewhere, and I'm going to go back there in a minute. I just saw this track up into the mountains, and curiosity got the better of me. That happens sometimes. Ajo, Arizona. I made it. 125 miles. I checked my route on Gaia GPS and I covered 125 miles across a desert from Yuma here to Ajo. It wasn't the most challenging route as far as four-wheel drive goes, but that doesn't mean it was easy, and don't let your guard down. Make sure you know your vehicle, make sure you have the right tires, make sure you have extra fuel. I managed to make it here in one tank of gas, and I didn't need to tap into my auxiliary tank at all, but only just. My gas light came on right as I rolled into town. El Camino del Diablo is a scenic endurance test more than anything. Make sure you have a lot of water, shelter, and preparedness is the name of the game. A satellite communicator is a must, and again, a lot of water. I had 10 gallons with me. I had 4 gallons in Rotopacks, a few gallons in the Nemo Helio, and 3 gallons from the grocery store. Don't go in the summer because it's gonna be too hot. Go during the shoulder seasons or in the winter. Chances are conditions will be dry, but there were some spots that looked like they could get muddy, and there was a lot of soft sand. So you're gonna wanna run low tire pressure throughout. I had my tires at 15 PSI for the entire journey. But wow, it was an amazing trip. I'm looking forward to doing it again, and it was more epic than I even imagined. Again, my GPS data for this trip is available to paid members on venture4wd.com. Thanks for watching, everyone.